We rerouted power from the flight controller to power the receiver at the same time. This was necessary to prevent spurious signals from firing off the ESC motor and the steering servo. We removed the ESC output control on the receiver and removed the ESC power on the receiver and the steering servo power on the ESC. The reason we did this is during our testing, fortunately we had the Desert Buggy up on a table stand. During our testing to bind the radios, the steering servo became active and the motors essentially took off at 50% power. Rolling down the road, rolled off the table and done a lot of damage. So something to remember, always make sure your wheels are up off the table when you're doing these types of testing. We finally got the receivers to follow the settings of the transmitter. After several iterations of setting and storing the various parameter files, RC and servo input values, and rebinding the transmitter to make sure that the transmitter and the computer are indeed sharing the information from the steering servo and the throttle. So this is throttle movement goes up to full power, and then braking movement up to maximum braking, and then steering to the right, and then steering to the left. Notice we're not totally between the ranges of 1000 and 2000 PWM. We can correct those later with the trim ranges set inside to more than 100%. Occasionally we get that with Spectrum receivers and Spectrum transmitters. When you set them at 100%, they typically go from 1100 to 1900 PWM rather than 1000 to 2000. It's just a minor tweak. So now the responding radio is calibrated. We're ready to do some more testing on the servos and the ESCs, servo output and ESC calibration, and still can't get the flight mode switch to work. That's of a concern. When I press the F button, I should see one of these three, especially radio 5, should change value, and it doesn't. So that's telling me that I got some either a wire that's not connecting correctly from the receiver to the flight controller, or the flight controller itself is not set to receive switch inputs on switch F, and that should be mapping into switch number 5, input mode 5 for flight mode inputs, channel 5. We're just going to have to again troubleshoot that. So moving along, we were successful in getting the radio calibrated through Mission Planner, which was giving us a little bit of trouble.